seen you people somewhere before?
Maybe on the mountain, who knows?
Yeah, go Posse go, right? Why just me?
We got him on.
There's a lot from
There's lots happening. We'll tell you later.
He's just the unseen victim of April Fools.
There you go.
He's got it bad today. I didn't.
I was just doing what I was told.
Hey, we agreed as a group. Come on.
If anybody's viewing us, who do you think they'll take seriously?
Call the meeting to order. I want to acknowledge the Smokemeat Valley in which we learn, work, and organize. It's the ancestral, traditional, and unceded territory of the Smokemeat people and home of the Upper Smokemeat Indian Band. Before we adopt the agenda, I have two additions, and that's 11.1, which is a appointment to the BC Economic Development Association. Our membership was due, and we just repaid it. So, and then 11.2, which is a letter of support for the Chamber of Commerce. With that, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, I got Willis and Elliott. All in favor? Carried. We'll go to adoption of the March 18th regular meeting council meeting minutes. Thank you. McLean, Gould, errors or omissions. All in favor? That is carried. And petitions and delegations. I'm supposed to read a preamble, but I'm just going to hand over the floor to you, and you're supposed to have about 15 minutes to do your spiel.
Alright. Hi everybody, I am Chloe. I am the newly appointed president of Princeton Ground Search and Rescue. And this is Grace. She is our fundraising queen extraordinaire, our admin, and our secretary of our team. Really appreciate you guys getting to listen to us for about 15 minutes here. I just want to start by saying we acknowledge that we train and operate on the unceded territory of the Upper Smokemeat Indian Band. And let's get started. We've given you some little flyers you can have a look at, but we'll get into the details of that. There is a bit of a description of our team, but we'll just start with that on here. So Princeton Ground Search and Rescue Society was formed in 1999, which means we are over 25 years old. We received society status in the year 2000. We are a registered charity. There are 9 executive positions on our team, and we meet weekly for training on Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. We also meet Wednesday mornings for our maintenance crew, and there is also extra training on top of that. The additional training is available in specialized disciplines, which we will also cover in this presentation. And we are 100% volunteer and not paid, unfortunately. But we do our best. There's some pretty pictures to go along with the presentation as well. So our area of operations is quite large. We work up north towards the AP Guest Ranch, east to Karamias. Our dividing line with Penticton Search and Rescue is at the Red Bridge. We end up serving that area up the Ashinola, but we will call on them for mutual aid in that area. We also work south to the US border and west to Allison Pass. So it's quite a large area for our team. A bit of an intro. So Ground Search and Rescue is a tasked agency via Emergency Management and Climate Readiness, EMCR, to assist our tasking agencies, which are quite a few of them. We have RCMP, BCEHS, the BC Coroner Service, Parks Canada, and local, regional, and provincial government. We do search, rescue, recovery, and state of emergency assists with wildfire, fire, and flood evacuations. And our team is about the size of 35 members, and we recruit 5 to 8 new members for training each year. But this year we have 10, which is super exciting. So our team is really beefing up this year. Our affiliations, so within the boundaries of the regional district, there are 3 search and rescue teams. There's Penticton Search and Rescue, Oliver Osoyoos Search and Rescue, and then our team, Princeton Search and Rescue. So these 3 separate teams combine their efforts to provide mutual aid services throughout the region. And then we work under our governing bodies, which are EMCR and BC Search and Rescue Association, which is known as BC SARA. And we also do mutual aid with other teams in BC if we're called upon, as well as other parts of Canada when necessary.
Maybe Australia too.
Yeah, who knows?
They've contacted us.
So D4H is a program that we use. It's kind of our personal calendar that we use within our team. It's an award-winning ISO certified software program that's designed for emergency and crisis management. It actually stands Done for Heroes, is the D4H. It offers tools for personnel training, incident response, and resource management. So the platform helps organize, manage, and sort of real incident time. And it's created to share situational awareness with other teams and other sort of governing bodies of ours, so we can all share our hours, our experiences, and there's always post-incident reporting and analysis afterwards. So it's kind of our station of everything we've got going on. Organizes all of our hours. So in the past 12 months, our team has been tasked out over 28 times, and since this PowerPoint, we've actually been tasked out about 2 or 3 more times, totaling 298 hours and 36 minutes of tasks. Our team has been training quite a bit. And maintenance, which has totaled over 600 hours in the past 12 months. So we like to keep ourselves busy. So the GSAR program. You might be familiar with this sort of picture. It was posted online this past year for our recent intake of members in training. Just to give you an idea of what they go through before they are certified ground search and rescue members. So we hold a new member intake annually from October to approximately April. It's taught in-house by PGSAR instructors. I am one of them. And it is a JIBC certified course. So it's a mix of lecture, hands-on, and includes incident command system training. And each module is there's about 6 modules, and each one has an exam. So we're not just pulling people off the streets onto our team. We put them through the training. So there is a team requirement to have a minimum of 40 hours of attendance per year to be able to attend any specialty training that our team allows. Sorry, on a bit of a delay here. There we go. So this is an idea of the course layout. These pictures are from our MIT trainings and their graduations. So each course consists of multiple classes and written and practical exams. The member must obtain 75% on all exams to pass. There, it's popping up. And they must attend at least 75% of all classes within each course to be eligible to write said exam. So we understand that in search and rescue, life comes first, and a lot of our members actually work shift work at the mine or the mill or as paramedics. So we do a lot of catch up to ensure that they've received all the information they need to write these exams. So in order to write the final exam and complete their GSAR, they must pass all of their courses and participate in the overnight. So the overnight, we drag them out to the mountains, we put them to the test, they carry their 24-hour packs on them, which is a pack that basically includes everything you need to spend 24 hours out in the bush, and then we send them out into the bush by themselves within hearing distance and radio distance, and we set up camp. So all of them will set up their own camp. That top picture is our member Andres, and he decided to lug his tent with him all day. So good on him. He probably slept well than a bunch of other people. When it comes to GSAR training, oh, come on now. It's thinking about it. There we go. We have our internal training. So like I mentioned before, every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m., including the Saturday or Sunday at the end of the month, we do our internal training. So our months of training are all themed depending on the time of year. For example, in May, we do Swiftwater, ice rescue is in January, tracking in June, and so on. And with each week, there's also themed equipment knowledge, first aid, and scenarios, and more. So all of our members put the effort in together to make this happen every week of every month. We also have external training. So this requires GSAR training completion and to have a member in good standing. So be a good person, hit your 40 hours, and now you're eligible to take some extra training. And our team will cover the cost of the course, the mileage, accommodations, and the meals for our members as well. So that's the benefit of being on the team. You get some cool training paid for you. Some of this training includes Swiftwater training, ice rescue training, team leader training. So these are the people that work below a manager on a call out, and they're in charge of their group of people below them. trainer, which is the training that I took to teach the team. We've got search manager, so they're in charge of the entire search. Avalanche rescue, helicopter awareness, which includes hover, entry, exit when the helicopter cannot land and needs to hover above land, so we need to know how to get in and out without tipping the machine over. They are very delicate. We also have tracking, first aid training at various levels, sled, ATV, UT operator training, and the mounted team. So we are specialized in mounted team, and if you know horses, you may know that they are actually better scent trained than most dogs. Because they've lived as prey their entire life, they are very attentive to what's around them, so they make great search animals. And they're tall, so you get a better bird's eye view of everything while you're on them. Alrighty. Our equipment, so just to give you an idea of what we have at our hall right now, we have 4 trucks in use, which we put down as SAR 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see the makes and models there. My favorite is SAR 3. I don't know why. It's the only one that isn't white. Maybe that's why. And then we have our other motorized equipment. We have a UTV Defender, which is pictured at the bottom here, this blue one on our trailer. We have 2 ATVs and 3 snowmobiles, and we interchange them in our trailer depending on the season. We also have 5 trailers. Our command trailer, which is used as our command based on callouts. We've got Starlink hooked up there, and it's basically kind of our camp at the base of our callouts. We have our sled and ATV trailer, our utility trailer, which just carries extra chairs, propane, and tables in case we go on a mutual aid callout. We have our UTV trailer and our raft and Zodiac trailer, which is pictured next to the UTV in that bottom photo. All right, the executive, let's get into it. There's me, I'm the president right now. Paul is our vice president and head of maintenance, but he acted as president for over a decade on our team. Grace is our secretary and head of fundraising, as well as our admin. Crystal is our treasurer. We have Andres, who's our safety officer. He's the one that lugged his tent with him, so you know he's a safe guy. He's ready for anything. Our director of first aid is Bryson. And then we have our trainers, who are myself and Anita. And then we have our director of training, who is Denise. So she's the one that organizes the outward training coming into our team, whether we're doing wilderness advanced first aid like we did last weekend, or ice rescue, or anything along those lines. And then we have 2 directors at large. They are George and Warren. Just working on it, just thinking about it. There we go. And now fundraising. If you're on Facebook, like the rest of Princeton, you may have seen these photos, these little flyers that we've made before. So the team holds fundraising events such as raffles, merch sales, barbecues, and applying for various grants and donations. Again, we are a nonprofit. And we explore every and all opportunities to fundraise. All right, fundraising in 2026. We are going all out thanks to our queen of fundraising here. In 2026, we are upping our fundraising efforts. We are doing Purdy's chocolate sales for Easter and Christmas. We are doing a community bowling night on April 19th. Silent auctions, a family fun carnival, which includes a barbecue, garage, and plant sale on May 30th. And we're also doing an artisan market hosted at the high school gym this year for artisans in our area and surrounding areas to sell their goods on November 28th and December 13th. We're also taking a breather, but we're also thinking about future events such as golf tournaments, concerts, rubber ducky races, and a lot more. So we're really trying to get involved in our community awareness here. When it comes to community outreach, we strive to create events and participate in events that include the community and bring awareness to what we do. So as a team, we continue to help gather food yearly for the food bank drive. We volunteer for other organized events to be designated drivers, such as the rodeo. And we spread outdoor safety awareness through Adventure Smart programs and encourage others to foster awareness associated with outdoor activities. So this is kind of our main setup that we have for our presentations at these events, but sometimes we'll hike out to Manning Park at 5 a.m. and set up camp there for the Frosty Outreach weekend, because that mountain is just getting more and more popular. So we really do our best to get that Adventure Smart program out there. All right, our plan. So you may have seen those little glass jars around town where we're collecting donations at different businesses. We've decided to up our game. Basically, we know that where we are right now is not a permanent solution. So we are reframing our Roof for Rescuers campaign with a new logo and a new outlook, and that's what those little brochures have inside to show you. We have sponsorship programs. We also have a donation link, as well as a description, a detailed description of why we're looking to upgrade our building situation for our equipment, our team, and our training. So if you guys have any questions about that, we are happy to answer. But other than that, thank you very much for your time. We have sent out an email, hopefully to organize a meeting with Spencer and Lyle regarding the future of our roof over our heads. And yeah, we really look forward to the future of that. So thank you guys very much for listening today.
You rehearsed this, didn't
At home, a little bit. I went to public speaking class in university.
you? You got like a minute left. That's gonna go. You guys are a registered charity.
Yes.
Okay, I think you need to get that out there more because I don't think everybody realizes you're not just a society, but you're an actual registered charity. Because that's a game changer for anybody who wants to make a donation. Because they
Definitely.
get their tax receipt, right? So big push on that you're a registered charity and that you will get a tax receipt. I think
Yes.
that's important to let people know. Lyle and I have been trying to like nail down a date that we're both able to be in the office at the same time
Awesome.
and meet with you, so we're not ignoring you. We're just
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's that time of year, so
Totally get it.
all over the place. So,
Yeah.
does any council members have a question? Councilor Gould.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
do. How do you cover your costs for like computers, equipment?
It's all through donations and fundraising.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's like when you do your tasks and stuff from the BC or EMCR,
Mhm.
they don't give like
No.
a dollar amount back for.
So we do get sort of accredited for the time that we're out there. We are also covered by WCB coverage. So if we lose any equipment or break anything, that is something that we're able to replace through coverage. But unfortunately, when it comes to our gear and equipment and the training that we're able to receive, it is all through our personal efforts to put that together and pay for it. So that's why we're stepping up our game this year.
Right.
We do get a certain from BC Star, we do get some monies from BC Star,
Yeah.
it's all based on how many members you have, what their qualifications are, how many
Okay.
tasks you do. and
So
everything.
there's a little base.
But it's
Yeah.
a little base.
It's
yeah.
And there's a small amount of funding that comes from the regional district for all the GSARs in the region.
And even things like the Purdy's fundraiser, for example, it doesn't, it doesn't bring in a ton of money, but it makes a difference. Every
Yeah.
cent makes a difference towards training and stuff. Because if we can't do the training, then we can't be ready
Exactly.
for calls, right? We can't be more efficient with calls
Yeah.
if we're not training all the time, so.
And unfortunately, training doesn't last forever, so a lot of our training has like a 3-year lapse, so we have to keep
Yeah.
maintaining those funds to make sure that we can put more heads through that training.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely a valuable resource for our area, so I'm glad you're here. and
Yeah,
that you have
thank
as
you.
many members as you do. That's that's a big commitment. I'm surprised. I didn't realize there was like zero funding from the provincial government
Yeah.
per call out. Because I know the RCMP even use you when they have,
Mhm.
when they're looking for something.
Yeah.
And you get a task number. And
Exactly, yeah, so basically, someone calls 911, dispatch will let RCMP, BCEHS, whoever is appropriate know, and then they will kind of go through our emergency communications coordination, which will then filter down to us. So we can't dispatch ourselves like first responders, we have to wait for the call to come in.
even if you already knew about it.
Yeah,
It's
even if we
hard,
know
right?
about it through the grapevine, we
Yeah.
still gotta wait until we have our task
Yeah.
number.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you guys.
Councilor McLean.
As far as I remember, in the past, in days, and I can talk about days long gone by, but the way the search and rescue got new equipment funded by the province
Mhm.
was you used it, you made sure you used it so that anything that you used would be replaced. But that was, as far as I know, that was it.
Yeah,
And now that's not in place.
no, yeah.
Okay,
We
that
applied
doesn't
for-
even,
We applied for every grant. We applied for 3 grants this year. We did get 3 grants, but not, like we applied for one for 48,000, we got 18,000
Mhm.
only, right? So we apply for every grant we can,
Yeah.
every grant.
and I guess in a way it's, when you're sitting there dealing with municipal taxes, you're talking about not just municipal people are getting lost up in the forest, but there's people, visitors and everything else, and is that not kind of a provincial responsibility, but whatever. My question is,
Yeah.
my question is, brother-in-law was up in the mountains yesterday skidooing
Oh,
and started to get a shortness of breath. They called 911 and asked for a helicopter, and they said, no, we're not going to send a helicopter, we're going to send ground search and rescue. As it turned out, ground search and rescue couldn't make it up to where they were. The road was yucky or something. And so they eventually did, they called again for him again, and they did finally send a helicopter. What in your mind, I didn't know who to ask, but I have you right in front of me, and I'm thinking, what would be the reasoning that you wouldn't send a helicopter?
So in situations like that, when 911 is called, the ideal situation is that a BC emergency prepared helicopter through BCEHS is sent out there. But unfortunately, BC Ambulance will not send a helicopter to an unknown area that hasn't been checked over. So in those situations, ideally they will send our team up there because we can respond to a situation like that, or Penticton Search and Rescue, who have a helicopter and a long line. So basically they can land the helicopter if there is a landing zone, or they can send their long line team in if it's a dense forest or uneven terrain. Basically, we are limited in our capabilities. Of course, with our governing bodies, there's all these logistical things. But ideally, we would have a BC Ambulance helicopter sent up to an individual who needs aid, but within their jurisdiction, that just isn't something they're able to do. So the next ideal is to get our team up there to assess the patient, and then have the BC Ambulance helicopter come if we can find a landing zone, or we get a mutual aid call from another team.
It's just when someone's 79 and he's having chest pains and everything else, and as a result, and I suppose when you lose someone,
Yeah.
it's bad enough to lose someone, but when you lose someone and you think, I wonder if this could have been averted,
Of
it
course.
just throws another wrench into the, into the,
Yeah.
so that's why I felt I had to ask, because I know the fellow that was up there with him was doing everything he could
Yeah.
to try and get him out of there, and
Yeah.
it just didn't work, but,
Yeah, and I can say from the members that were up there that it will stick with them for a long time. There's always the if, ands, or buts, or what could we have done differently. And unfortunately, all these outdoor activities that we love to do are inherently dangerous, and we just do our best to get up there in a timely manner. But because there are things that we cannot, do without being asked to do, we are limited in the availability of being able to respond at a certain time. Even if we know someone is up on the mountain, like I said, we have to wait for our task number. So as I know that situation is a very difficult one, and I do apologize, and
well,
yeah.
no, and it's no reflection on you all, and I don't mean to be any way, the work that you guys do is amazing. When you sit there and say to me that you can't even get money from a government to give you supplies to do the job that you do, something is wrong with the system. And the fact that you guys are able to do what you do and get it carried out, congratulations, because
Thank
you
you.
do a hell of a job.
Thank you. And we're always open to, debriefing if people need someone to talk to or reassure them after calls like that. We go through CISM, so we have CISM set up tomorrow for our team members that were on that call, and we are happy to talk to any family members or friends that feel they need closure. Of course, without disclosing too much information, as it isn't our place to do so. But I do appreciate your courage in saying that, because I understand it's an uncomfortable conversation to have.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say thanks for everything you guys do,
Yeah,
and
thank
we'll
you
be in
very
touch.
much.
I do want to say you guys are way nicer trainers than the trainers I had way back in the day. You let them take.
Come on
you let
back,
you let them
Susan.
take a tent.
If you carry it on your back, that's on you. That's like, I always carry my sleeping bag in my fun of me for it, but I hate being cold, so it's on me, right?
Yeah. No, I did mine through most of my training through Air Cadets, and
Oh, yeah.
it was no, you're sleeping in the dirt.
We're not waking you up and hazing you at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
We actually, Grace makes their mitts breakfast in the morning afterwards.
Oh,
So
you're
we're
way
pampered.
nicer.
We're glamping, yeah. We are
Yeah.
I
glamping.
usually get AW, but I said I'll bring some scones.
Yeah.
Thanks for my scones.
It's pretty epic.
Like baking weapons I can do whatever, but-
Yeah.
But thank you guys very
Yeah.
much, and also don't hesitate to reach out. You can email me personally at president@princetongSAR.ca, or you can email training@princetongSAR.ca. There's also another email address on that brochure, so
Thank you.
you guys very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
And did you think that seeing as this April Fool's joke where everyone is dressed in hoodies, and you immediately thought that I was the only one in authority here?
No, it's Princeton. I don't put it past, yeah. I was tempted myself.
I have just one question. I've been talking with Nadine, but so finding out about like the arena, using the arena, who do I talk to? Because someone's kind of said to talk to you. Somebody else said to me, well, we'll talk to Lyle. He's the guy who knows everything, right? So,
Probably best to talk to Lyle or Nadine. So.
okay.
Nadine is probably the best.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah.
Maybe she's on holidays or busy, but we've had, yeah, maybe.
But you're welcome to come see me.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out all the information about using the whole arena, not just the mezzanine, maybe the whole arena for an event possibly, but we can find that out. Nothing's happening this year, so.
Well, if there's one more thing I just want to say, on our website, which is just princetongSAR.ca, we have a lot more detailed information about our donation process and sponsorship opportunities. So if you know anybody who's interested in throwing down a lot of cash for our team, that's the place to send them to on our website. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you ever added up your scope of responsibilities?
Lyle.
Thank you for letting me sell tickets to the Posse King.
Yeah.
Oh, no, everything else, right? So, actually, I should have brought tickets to some.
Why couldn't you say,
I'm hoping my sister-in-law bought tickets with the money.
Might have, yeah.
why couldn't it have been the chocolate night?
Oh, well, this one lady was not replying. I called, I texted, I looked her up on Facebook. I may just have to eat them things. Anyways, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you. Next up is Ed.
Before I get started with my presentation, I would like to also point out that the search and rescue team is an integral part to the emergency management side of my job. Every time we send out a notification to an address for alerts and evacuation orders, that's hand delivered by the team to each address, and it's, you know, for the town, we've put them out in the hundreds, and then they go out into the regional district and do it again in the hundreds. So they're invaluable part of the overall activation. So
I was surprised that they didn't, if there's a task, I thought there would be.
And it's a funny one because they are in this area where, well, I guess just now we just got permission that we can call on them without going through the RCMP. We could never, like, everything had to go through somebody else to get to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a provincial it's like a provincially run organization by volunteers under now EMCR. Originally it was PEP, but it's a funny situation, and there's never been enough funding. Even 30 years ago when I was with them, it was on us, not with the province to fund us. So it's always been on the volunteers to do it. The regional district does have a program. It's not well funded, but there's a little bit of money there. And you know, we saw Caramias fold, and Princeton and Penticton and Oliver Asuias, GSARs have, you know, taken up the responsibility of their coverage area, and it's just, you know, harder and harder every day. But that's why we give them free rent, and that's why we're talking about helping them find a location to set up their shop in the future. That's about what we have the capacity to do. So, go ahead, Ed. Let's get on.
thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for the opportunity to address you today. The report that I have for you is a joint application with the regional district, for the 2026 CEPF Emergency Operations Center Equipment and Training Grant Funding in the amount of $30,000. And they're going to manage that funding on our behalf. As I have brought to you in the past, these funding application cooperative exercises are very valuable, and it reaches out to all the emergency teams, emergency center activation areas within the regional district, and we can capitalize on savings with running one course instead of several. The training grant is intended to support the continuation of the relationship between, for the equipment and supplies, shared training exercises, and will result in an increased capacity to ensure EOC readiness. The supporting partners is, as you can see there, is Osoyoos Indian Band, Village of Karamias, District of Summerland, Town of Osoyoos, Town of Oliver, and the Town of Princeton. The other organizations that are involved that don't or haven't chosen to contribute are also included. Upper and Lower Similkameen Indian Bands, and the contributions they make are in kind and in other ways. We do include every organization we can within the regional district in these training activities. I would like to point out that on January 22nd, 26, the RDOS board approved the application grant process for this grant rotation. And in that grant, they included Princeton, and I'm trying to, with this approval, wishing to catch up to what they had already achieved in their granting process. So I'm a little behind the regional district in this grant application. But it's just endorsing them to run the grant for us.
And it's 30,000 for Princeton, not 30,000 for the area.
No, it's every partner is putting 30,000 in, and that money is comes straight from the provincial government for this purpose.
It helps us with our capacity at a regional level, since, as you know, we end up supporting, places like Tulameen, Eastgate, and whatnot, and it just, we're moving more and more towards, and Ed's position is, was it 40% funded now through Area H? It just helps with the regional integration into our system, so that when we are in trouble, then we're all there to support, we're all at the same level, and we're all trained the same, and it's seamless integration across the board. So this is something we've been working on for a number of years at a regional level, is to as Jim's slogan says, one region working together. This is just a continuation of that.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Moved by Elliott, seconded. McLean. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Thank you. Council reports. We'll start with Councillor Willis.
I have nothing new to report, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Councillor Gould.
Well, today I am wearing my Bossy hoodie in support of the achievements of that. And to make Councillor McLean give him a little poke on April Fool's Day on her professional attire.
It's been a rough day, Randy. Everybody's getting you today.
So they defeated a team that they usually play for their conference finals. So good job on those boys. They worked hard.
Thank you.
Amazing job. That run game.
Yeah. Council McLean.
As you may have surmised or whatever, the occupant of that scenario that I talked to the search and rescue about was my brother-in-law, Bob Wicks, who didn't make it. Heart attack suffered in the helicopter when they finally did get to him. You know, a long-time resident of Princeton, participant in everything from library to skills center to whatever, and lawyers, all that sort of thing. So I feel very sorry for my sister. They were quite close and all that sort of thing. So anyway, moving on from that, I did want to say a couple words about this water meter business. That, in my mind, what I think has to be able to get out to the public is two things. One thing is that water meters are going to give us a way better direction finding source for water leaks. Princeton has a number of I think we've done a job of keeping up to date as much as we can, but there's old water lines in Princeton, and I swear to God, we're the last word I had was that we're back up, way up in terms of comparisons to capacity that we use per capita with just about anybody. And so that ability to be able to determine if you have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 houses in a certain area that are all using a lot of water, they're going to know it in a hurry when they get their bill. We're going to be able to go into that area and find those water leaks. But I think the other thing that needs to be made clear to people is the fact that, in my mind, the system we have now is unfair. If you are a person that looks after your water, make sure you don't have drips, make sure your underground sprinklers aren't broken and leaking water, and you're being shortchanged as far as I'm concerned under the system that we have now. What is fair is water meters. They tell you what you're using. If you're going to waste water, no problem. You're going to pay for it. But if you're going to look after your water and make sure you keep on top of it, you're going to make the savings that you deserve. Under our system now, we don't have that. And I just think it's going to be a system that it'll get us, in my mind, get up to date with other municipalities in terms of being fair about what you charge them for their water. Anyway, I just wanted to state that sort of thing.
Thank you. And Jared is almost finished. I think you are finished the written part, and we're going to turn it into an infographic, so hopefully more people will read it rather than just words on a page.
Give them some pictures.
Give them some pictures to look at. So it's kind of a joint effort between the three of us to make it look pretty and come out. So
the other thing, that there's no cost, and in most cases it's going to be like a half, 3/4 of an hour kind of operation. When they came and did I'm a business, so when they came in and did my business, it was relatively short. They just came in, cut the line, you shut the water off, then cut the line, put the thing in, and turned the water back on, and they were gone.
yeah.
It's not that complicated, and it's free.
Right. Yeah, it's better than them having to pay for it themselves. Councillor Elliott.
First off, very sorry about the news from Bob.
Thank you.
I'm just thinking about some of the things he's done over the years. Rodeo Club, museum, just heavily involved in the community in so many ways. And please pass my condolences on to Chris.
You betcha.
I've been busy conducting elections. I attended 2 AGMs in the last week, museum and Two Rivers Event Society, and I conducted the elections for those. Marjorie Holland has returned as president for the museum, and Colby Welton is president for the Two Rivers Event Society. And I also did some HR work last week. I sat in on job interviews for the Gristmill Operations Society, and we've hired a new manager, Jessica Johnson. who is a long-term member of the Gristmill Foundation and has been working as a volunteer and paid employee of the site over the last few years. And she assumes her new position as of today. And that's all I've got.
Can I ask what the Two Rivers,
Yeah, that's a group that hosts the Harvest Fest at this point, and they're going to eventually create some more events for the town.
perfect,
Yeah.
perfect.
Thank you. So I did give you guys a written copy of my report this week. I've been pretty busy.
Slacking.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I know, I'm slacking.
such big print.
Look at how many pages.
So March 19th was regional district, and I did attach the report, the staff report, and the MOU for you guys to look at. This was done in public. So the regional district was approached by the city of Penticton and United Way through their 100 Homes project to work on a regional approach to homelessness, since we find that there is some transition between the communities. And they've done numbers. There's people from Princeton living in Penticton on the street, and there are people from Princeton living in their shelter as well. So when that came forward, I came back with a notice of motion asking for an MOU between the regional district and the other partners, because we were going to commit $80,000 a year for 3 years from the regional district to fund this. So it's going to do point in time counts and other strategies and other things to try to figure out how we can look at the homeless situation across the whole region and try to tackle it in the absence of a lot of provincial funding, whose jurisdiction most of this falls under. So we're working there. So I did add that to to the report so you guys could read it and you can ask questions, and I'll try to answer them best I can later. The same day, later that night, I attended the Okanagan Film Commission meeting that I'm on the board of through the regional district. Princeton continues to be looked at for filming. We are struggling, though, to land those films because of the accommodations for housing and crews, or housing crews here. This has cost us some large productions from HBO, Disney, FX. The list goes on. So we've probably lost 6 in the last year. So staff are aware of this. They're working. We've been working since we got elected to figure out something to do with the hotel and motels space, because most of our space is filled up by mine workers right now. So so that's still on the table. We're working on it. We're trying to work with other partners in the area to try to house crews so that we can do some of these projects. The next day I attended a SILGA board meeting. We're just getting final preparations on the conference in April. At the end of April, early May, we do have, I think, 2 ministers that are going to attend for sure in person this year. We moved the date so that it went into Saturday, so the final day's on Saturday, because they sit during our time. So the only day they had was Friday, and if you're not where an airport is, you're not going to get a minister. So we're in Revelstoke this year, so we're on the Saturday. On Sunday, I met with the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing over in Penticton. We were joined with members from various regional service providers like United Way and the shelter and whatnot in Penticton. And we discussed just around housing issues, around the unhoused and some zoning stuff and whatnot. We just sat, had coffee, and discussed issues. I think there was 10 of us roughly at that meeting. And then from there I went to Kelowna, and I was at a 2-day water and climate forum in Kelowna put on by the Okanagan Nation. This 2-day forum was on water issues, of course. We had keynote speakers from all over the place, and one was from Spain, and she was speaking about the efforts that Spain and the EU have have been undertaking, because they've been in a drought cycle much similar to ours, just in a different time zone or time of their drought cycle. And that was a big conversation piece, as well as the drought cycle, and not trying to not trying to mitigate it, because there's no mitigating, but trying to learn how to live within that drought cycle, and how do we adapt to it, and just change the way we do our practices and whatnot. And so a lot of talk around watersheds and watershed security, and how do we work that out. And that goes back to some of the work that we're doing with the collaborative leadership table. We were one of the key people at that group talking about watersheds, and then the forestry meeting that we had in Merritt the week before that was talking about forest landscape planning, which is a new practice by the province, where we're planning out the forest practices in watersheds. So we're part of one with Merritt area, and it's the which one is it? I think it's the Coldwater, the Nicola, the Nickelman, and the Similkameen are in this one forest landscape planning. So again, it goes back to looking at the watersheds as a whole, and how do we adjust practices to make sure that water is protected above all else, and that we have enough water to maintain our needs. So topic of conversation across the province right now, and just about every place that I go, is the drought situation, what the drought's going to look like this year, because the Okanagan side is a lot worse than we are. You just have to drive to Summerland over the back road, and you'll find that there's no water up there. So super concerning. On the 25th, I attended the Chamber of Commerce AGM, where I was asked to swear in the board of directors. It's mostly the same board of directors. They have a few new faces, and then the Chamber is looking at an NCBC grant to support their downtown businesses and encourage growth in the downtown businesses, and that's a topic on the new business as well. They've asked for a letter of support there. 27th, I attended the SILGA Resolutions Committee meeting. We have 33 resolutions this year. There's been changes at UBCM on how they're doing resolutions this year, so we're trying to fit that into our resolution system, because anything that's been done in the last number of years will not be, the committee is not going to recommend them, and they're not going to action them, so the onus is going to fall on SILGA and the municipalities to advocate for themselves, because it's already in the queue with UBCM. It's already been sent to the province through the UBCM, so now it's on us really to deal with that. The 31st, which I think was yesterday, I met with Carmi from Copper Mountain Mine, and we talked about a few things, and a possible community event in the community, and a few other things. Just I didn't know. Our meeting on Thursday was supposed to be a meeting, it wasn't canceled, so we just did a quick catch up, and we'll do another meeting later. And then earlier today, the BC Economic Development Association, along with the province, had a industrial land use or industrial land in BC webinar. Very interesting conversation around industrial land in British Columbia, and the province is looking to catalog all industrial land in BC, put it on a geospatial map, and support the investment into that those industrial lands to get people working. There's also a new tax incentive that went active, I think today, or no, last year. I can't remember. Anyways, I have it on my computer. That also for manufacturing in industrial land, so businesses can apply for this tax incentive. And some other things, one of the things that came up was the possibility of an industrial land reserve being created in BC, similar to the agricultural land reserve, but for industrial land, so that it can't just be phased out and gotten rid of, to make sure that the jobs stay there. So yeah, I think those are all the big ones. Other than that, I've been in the office in and out, talking with Jared, Lyle, Mark. I think I even had a conversation with James. Just regular, everyday stuff that we do on top of it. So I think that's it. Yep.
Have you come across any kind of a example of a solution of housing the unhoused? So nobody's ventured out on any kind of a solution, or
yeah. So yeah, this came up at FCM last year, And, everybody's trying to make their own solution, because it doesn't seem to be like there is one solution that works. So everybody's working on their own. It's super complex, because you're dealing with people in different level or different stages of unhoused, right? There's numerous things to take into consideration, from mental illness and drug abuse to people who have just lost their home because they can't afford their mortgage anymore, or they were rent evicted, or the list goes on and on. So there's no one size fits all, and you can't force somebody to move into a house, which is the part of it is you have to do this, and then you have to do almost staging, where the first stage is a shelter. The shelter then can move you into some sort of supportive housing, and then get you the supports that you need for whatever your problems are, and then from there get you into the appropriate housing after that. So it's really multi-stage. It's super expensive. The province, I think, is really, I'll be blunt, I think they're over their head on this, and they don't know how to actually deal with it. They've got some ideas. They're working toward it. I mean, Kelowna's got their little pods. There was the thing in Penticton that got voted down. There's one just opening up in, I think, Squamish or somewhere over there. But are they going to solve the problem? Probably not. Not without the support from the health authorities, and even was it jobs and economic development? Like there needs to be more than just housing or healthcare. It's really, there's multiple agencies that need to be involved, and they're all focused on their own thing and not how do they work together. Even trying to get this thing cleaned up here by Cal Tire, it's a nightmare. I mean, we're dealing with 3 or 4 different ministries trying to get them to come to the table and take responsibility for their area, and nobody has money, and nobody has the jurisdictional will to do anything. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. I wish I did.
Do enlighten us if something ever comes along, because
I will bring it to this table. Will be applied.
As far as I'm concerned, this is a provincial health responsibility, and I know that they're doing it in municipalities, but we're not in health. We're
Nope.
taxpayers.
Nope. And really, if you go back 20-something years ago, we all sat, and I think Lyle sat in some of those meetings with me. We sat in these meetings where, they were talking about, at the time it was crystal meth, right? And they were talking, so all the pharmacies were, watching whether they were, who was buying Sudafed, who was buying this stuff, and who was buying that, and all the experts at the time, and they were closing all the mental health institutions at the Lower Mainland and around the province, and all the experts were saying, in 20 years, this is going to be a nightmare that we're not going to be able to manage. And everybody at the time said, that's not going to happen. And you go 20 years almost to the date, and what do we got? We have one of the worst overdose epidemics we've ever seen. We have unhoused and mental health issues that we can't deal with. And really, if people would have listened 20-some years ago, maybe we could have got a good handle on it. But now we're dealing with 20 years of really mismanagement and neglect, I think is the best way to put it.
Thank you.
Anyways, we'll move on to the next one, 8.1. There is a correspondence received and file from the town of View Royal. And 8.2 is a announcement from Gorman's. I would like to do 8.1 separately from 8.2 and just ask that 8.1 be received and filed. Thank you, Councillor Gould. Councillor McLean, all in favor? Carried. And 8.2, I think we should send a letter to Nick and just send him congratulations on his next step to retirement, as they put in the notice, and wish him all the best as he moves on. He's been with Gorman's for over 50 years, and he's been good to deal with and work with since Gorman's have taken over Weyerhaeuser. So I get a motion to...
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Elliott, Willis, all in favor? Carried, thank you. And then we'll go down to 11.1. So we just renewed our BC Economic Development Association dues. We found out we're supposed to have 2 voting members on that board. So just a motion that
So moved.
myself and Gary get, okay, moved. Councillor McLean,
Second.
Councillor Gould, all in favor? Carried. And the other one, I got a letter from Joyce just asking that we send a letter of support for their Etsy application, which is
So moved.
standard.
So second.
Thank you. Elliott, Willis, all in favor? Carried. And nothing else, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Gould. Seconder, Willis, all in favor? Carried. We're done.